of life, the rivers of living waters that are flowing out of your belly are supposed to impact this world for the Lord. So make sure you open your mouth and you release that, all right? My name is Frederick NJIRI, and this is how we're going to start this Thursday. A day after President William Ruto accused Justine MUTURI of incompetence while serving in the position of the Attorney General, the head of state has sent him packing. Justine MUTURI, former CS Public Service, has turned a sharp critic of the government, accusing it of extrajudicial killings, abductions, and lame policies. MUTURI, who had been adamant of not resigning from office, will be replaced by NJIRI North Member of Parliament, Geoffrey Ruku. At the same time, widow to the late Baringo Senator William Cheptumo, Hannah Wendot Cheptumo, was nominated to head the Ministry of Gender and Culture, Arts and Heritage. In other changes, CS Deborah Mulongo Barasa was reshuffled to Environment Docket, with CS Aiden Dwale taking charge at Afia House. Now, if you're the one who, was appointed to take over one of these ministries, what would you say? Well, let's hear what one of them said. NJIRI North MP Geoffrey Ruku accepted his nomination as Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Human Capital Development and Social Programs by President William Ruto, speaking shortly after accompanying Deputy President Kithure Kindiki on an impromptu inspection of the Kanywambora irrigation project in NJIRI North constituency, Embu County. Ruku described the nomination as a great honor. He pledged to serve with dedication and commitment, just like he served the people of NJIRI North. He emphasized his unwavering belief in President Ruto's development agenda and vowed to work tirelessly to ensure the fulfillment of the president's promise to Kenyans.
I have served the people of NJIRI North for 2.5 years with dedication and commitment. I've also been very key supporter of His Excellency William Ruto government, and I think in his own wisdom he has seen it as good I serve as a cabinet secretary. I want to thank him for this nomination, and in case the National Assembly of the Republic of Kenya does the vetting and I'm successful and sworn in, I will serve the Republic of Kenya in that office with the same dedication and commitment I have served the people of NJIRI North. It's a great honor and privilege to serve as a cabinet secretary. This I will do without failing the people of the Republic, and also without failing His Excellency the President, and more so, I will always carry the memories I have served the people of NJIRI North for 2.5 years. It has been a great honor to be the Member of Parliament from NJIRI North. It's an honor which I will ever remain grateful to the people of NJIRI North for giving me this opportunity to serve them as a Member of Parliament.
Well, congratulations to him. I pray that he delivers services to the people. Because, when you're appointed a cabinet secretary, you're supposed to serve the people. I almost said that Jehovah, but anyway. A Kenya police officer who is part of the international security force in Haiti has actually gone missing. The multinational security support to Haiti said in a statement that the officer went missing after an ambush by gang members in Port Sunday. Following these specialized teams have been deployed to conduct a search and determine his whereabouts. The Haitian gang attacked the officers after a Haitian National Police armored vehicle on patrol along the Carrefour-Paye-Savian main supply route got stuck in a ditch, while another developed a mechanical problem. We need to continue praying for, our soldiers in Haiti, our police officers in Haiti, so that their mission can be successful. They can help bring peace in Haiti. And maybe if it does not serve the interests of the people, have your people back. But we pray for a successful mission there. Now, the vetting panel concluded, the IBC Commissioners Vetting Panel concluded its 3-day interviews for the chairperson of the IBC Commission, vetting 11 candidates in total. On the final day of the interview, Lilian Wajiko Manegene, Robert Akumu Asembo, Saul Simiu Wasilwa answered tough questions from the members. The selection panel, led by the chairperson, Dr. Nelson Makanda, is tasked with filling the vacancy left by former electoral chief Wafula Chebukati, who succumbed to brain cancer last month. The panel has assured the public of fair and transparent selection processes to ensure that individuals of the highest integrity spearhead the 2027 general election.
The largest number of people that you've managed in your working career?
While managing the issues of under USAID, it was thousands, because there were so many projects that were happening, which I was the link between the ministry and USAID. So I had to deal with so many of the workers, and within that space, I was not the employer, but there are so many people who are under USAID that needed to report. I needed to report on their projects.
Under the rule of law, we give room to the courts and the parties before them to exploit the full recourses of law, and it's a fair process that way. It's in the interest of justice, and in the best interest of justice, we need to allow the law to take its course.
Let's hope that we're going to get an IBC chair that is going to bring justice to the electoral processes in the country. Kenya has, one of the things that we need to take care of is our politician, because most of the time it's not the electoral body that has a problem, it's our politicians. We just never developed or created, we've never been cultured to accept that we've lost an election or something like that. We always believe that something has been stolen. That's the reason why in some parts of this country, nobody just dies. I mean, somebody must have been poisoned, somebody did juju or something like that. You just don't die. Tension remains fluid in Loruk area after bandits raided a Korean village in Sibilo location in the Saimosoi and took 40 goods. Now, following the raid, police officers managed to recover 38 of the 40 goats. 3 days ago, Loruk chief was gunned down. What police said found himself in a crossfire between police and the bandits. Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen weighed in on the killing of the chief, Victor Sebei, amid the visit of the head of public service, Felix Koskei. CS Murkomen attributed to the latest spark of banditry within Baringo and Samburu County to administrative boundaries in Baringo North, Baringo South, Samburu, Laikipia, Isiolo, and Turkana counties.
We realized that there was an upsurge of banditry issues in Samburu County, and it was taking a very complex direction, especially because of the proximity to Isiolo County, proximity to Laikipia North, proximity to Meru. And as a result, we agreed that the Operation Maliza Uhalifu will be coordinated in 2 centers. So this shall continue to be the original coordination from this area to cover this Baringo all the way to Turkana, Elgeyo Marakwet, and West Pokot. And we have decided that as we are going to unveil tomorrow, we create another camp in NYS Kirimon, so that it can cover Laikipia, Samburu, parts of Isiolo, and Meru counties. I want to assure the people of Kenya that contrary to the propaganda you see around, the Operation Maliza Uhalifu is delivering, and delivering big. It is delivering, and we are not going to go back. If anybody thought that we are going to slow, we are going to cede any part of Kenya to any of the criminals, I want to say this without fear of contradiction, that we are not going to cede any part of this republic to any criminal.
Let's hope peace can be restored there. Again, it's a problem to do with politics because it's a boundaries issue. People want to maintain their chiefdoms and tribedoms and clandoms in those areas, and they don't want to share with other people. So it's a tricky situation, and all of this is normally caused by politicians. Anyway, the People's Liberation Party's leader, Martha Karua, has expressed her dissatisfaction with the broad-based government as she attended a funeral service attended by ODM leader Raila Odinga. This meeting comes at a time when the two leaders are reading from different scripts concerning the national politics landscape, despite being a presidential and a runners-mate candidate in 2022 elections. Karua criticized the ODM-UDA pact, saying it denies citizens a right of power.
People sometimes converge and other times disagree. And when you agree to disagree, it is okay. Last season, I campaigned with Baba, and I helped to enter the mountain amidst great hostility. But after 5 days of braving that hostility, mukatulia na tukaweza kuendelea. Because politics is not for the faint-hearted. But I want to agree also that it is the right of those who feel that broad-based is the way to go. It is also our right to disagree. And that is why I firmly remain in the opposition. I firmly remain with the people. And today we must continue questioning government, questioning its policies. We must continue saying no to abductions, saying no to executions, saying no to grand theft of public funds when basic services are suffering. We must continue saying no to the suffering through the shashi. One doesn't even know what is what. We must continue asking for money for education. Those are the issues we would want looked into. And that's why the framers of our Constitution found it fit to decree that Kenya will be a multi-party democracy, that in Parliament there will be a minority side and a majority side. But when you merge the minority and majority, as is happening in the broad-based, you deny people the power to question government from a position of strength. So,
you know, Martha Karua is such a bold lady. You know, you have to be impressed by her guts. I mean, she just says it like it is. Now, members of the National Assembly have reiterated their commitment to save the National Government Constituencies Development Fund, or NGCDF, slightly over a year to the June 2026 deadline given by the High Court last year for the fund to cease to exist. This emerged during a working retreat of the National Assembly Select Committee on NGCDF and the NGCDF Board and senior management. Key speakers at the meeting cited a recent Supreme Court judgment in which the 7-judge bench found that the NGCDF Act of 2015 had been legally enacted. Key speakers reiterated the critical role played by the fund in grassroots development and citizen empowerment.
The status report on receipt and disbursement of funds from National Treasury detailing the allocation to constituencies. That has been also there has been a problem. Schools have started closing, and yet students did not get the bursary in good time. The money was disbursed late from Treasury, and up to now we are not anywhere. We are still at 14 billion. 7 and 7. Yeah, so that is just a drop. We cannot even move forward. When you remove the emergency and the operations in the office, most of the members cannot even be able to disburse bursary.
On Friday last week, many of us had to issue the news from the judiciary that the Supreme Court had declared that certain laws that were passed by the National Assembly did not have to go through Senate. But not many of you realize that one of those laws that the Supreme Court said does not involve counties is the NJIRI Act. That for us at the board is very important. It simply means that the Supreme Court is saying that the ruling of the High Court last year is in very many respects illegal.
Well, just a couple of days to go before President Ruto's development tour of Mount Kenya, a section of Murang'a leaders affiliated to the government have shown their preparedness to welcome the president, saying the tour means a lot for the region as it will come a long way in terms of development. Led by Murang'a Women Rep and nominated MP Sabina Chege, the two have warned against those who may be planning to cause chaos, saying they will face the law. Speaking at Muruka in Kandara constituency, Sabina noted that the development tour will be key in ensuring some of the stalled development projects are revived, even those started by previous governments.
Watu wa Murang'a tuko tayari kumkaribisha Rais William Samoei Ruto. Na hawa watu wote wamesema wako tayari. Mko tayari ama mko tayari? Mko tayari ama mko tayari? Wacha nione kwa mikono. Rais William Ruto umekaribishwa hapa Murang'a County. Tumwambie karibu rais. Tumwambie tena karibu rais. Ya pili, tumesema sisi wenyewe ndio tulichagua hii serikali. Hatutatoka, tunataka maendeleo. Nyinyi mnataka siasa ama maendeleo? Mnataka siasa ama maendeleo? Na tumesema tunataka maendeleo, hata rais akikuja atuletee maendeleo hapa Central na hapa kwanza Kandara constituency. Tunampenda na tunamuombea na tunajua mambo itakuwa sawa. Na wale ambao waheshimiwa wanasema hawakuitwa pale mkutano State House, hakuna mtu ambaye wa Central Kenya hakuitwa. Wengine wanang'ang'ana vile watachaguliwa 2027. Lakini hawa wananchi hawaangalii ule watachagua 2027, wakati huu wanataka maendeleo. Na tumesema tunataka accountability ya CDF. Tunataka ile pesa inakuja county ikuwe accountable kabla tuangalie pale nyuma na pale mbele maneno ya national government. Lakini tumekubaliana pia hapa zile project zote zilianzishwa na serikali ambayo ilikuwa hapa mbele ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, hizo project ziishe ili tuendelee na maisha, si ndio?
That's Sabina Chege. Yeah. I love the fact that she's working hard to bring the president to Murang'a County. If you know the politics of Murang'a County, it's Sabina Chege. Obviously, in the meeting with the president, the governor is going to be there. The governor is such a cool guy. I mean, he's just cool, calm, collected, just doing his thing. But obviously, Dindi Nyoro will not be there, and a couple of other leaders. But let's see what happens as the president visits the beautiful county of Murang'a. Elsewhere, and I think this should be a good lesson to members of parliament or dignitaries who think they can be able to misappropriate public funds and hire some of the best lawyers to get them out of trouble. Because former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waitito is set to continue remaining in prison for at least another 1 month as the High Court considers his second application for bond. Waitito was in February sentenced to serve 12 years in prison or pay a fine of 53 million shillings following a conviction by a magistrate court in a corruption case. His application for bond was dismissed by Justice Lucy Njuguna at the High Court's Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Division on the 3rd of March. However, Waitito has since filed a fresh application before the same court seeking to be released on bond pending the hearing of his appeal. His lawyers, led by Kibe Mongai, have since sought leave to amend the application. However, that has been opposed by the Director of Public Prosecutions, and Justice Njuguna on Wednesday set April 23rd, 2025 for ruling on whether Waitito will be allowed to amend his application.
It is not automatic. We'll take your directions. Yeah, it is not automatic, and so therefore, I've marked your prayer 2 of the application dated 14th of March 2025 as abandoned. So now I'm giving directions, and you have asked the court we can proceed and first hear the application dated 18th of March.
Now that's how I guess we are supposed to treat some of these people who think that they can misappropriate public funds, and because they have access to the funds that they've misappropriated to hire lawyers, they can just play around with the wheel of justice. Well, if the appeal works, good for him. But if it doesn't, let him serve the term for what he did or is alleged to have done. President William Ruto held consultation with leaders from Western Kenya to assess progress on key priority projects, which include strengthening agricultural value chains, particularly increasing fertilizer uptake to boost food production and reviving the sugar and coffee sectors in the region. They also discussed urgent infrastructure needs, including roads, power connection, and ongoing fresh produce markets. Other areas of focus were universal health coverage and projects that will improve access to clean water. Prime Cabinet Secretary Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, Cabinet Secretaries Wycliffe Oparanya and Deborah Mulongo, the CS for Environment, as well as Governors Fernande Baraza, Kenneth Lusaka, and Dr. Paulo Tuoma, and some members of Parliament were present.
Ningependa kuwashukuru kwa sababu ya vile tumeshirikiana. Over the last couple of months, we have brought different teams together. And because we have brought different teams together under the broad-based arrangement, we are making steady progress in the right direction. Specifically, the items I thought I should mention to you as people's representatives and areas that you need to focus so that we can use the infrastructure of government to drive the development of our country.
Magazeti. Tuanze sasa. We start with the Star newspaper, whose headlines scream out Muturi fired as President Ruto makes changes to cabinet. Insiders say he provoked president by firing back after incompetent remark. He was always going to lose this job. He was always going to lose this job. Muturi has literally been asking to be fired. And let me give you what will happen in 2027 if we get there and Muturi gets there. Muturi is going to be the governor of Embu because I think all these antics had one thing in mind. He's going to vie, he's going to seek the position of Governor Embu, and he's going to win it. Because I don't think Embu is going to soften its stance towards President William Ruto. And what happens is that now that he's been fired, he will be seen, he will be easily accepted by the people there. And so 2027, I think Cecily Mbarire will be shown the door by the constituents of the region. She's a nice person, but unfortunately probably in the wrong party, in the wrong region. And now with former CS Muturi there, he's going to become the next governor. Watch that pace. The back page, second page, Kenya feels heat in Haiti, a second officer killed. UNICEF says violence in the country is putting children at severe risk of displacement. The guys had gone to rescue a national police armored vehicle that had been attacked while on patrol when they were ambushed. They should not, by now expect this to happen. And then the third page, educationist, envoy, and XMP leave rich legacy. President Kenyatta made NJIRI the first Kenyan professor of education. Then you got now the story about the sacking of Muturi and the wise. And then MPs raise red flag over influx of foreigners in local businesses. This is very true. Do you know that right now, most of the barber shops within the Eastlands area, actually almost all of them, are controlled by people from either Burundi or Rwanda, and then I mean they've taken over. So I can see Senator Agnes Kavindu is raising questions. Why are we allowing foreigners to come and take some of the jobs that our people are supposed to be doing? And then we got the back page of the Star. Coach Ambani says Ingwe are ready to maul Gor in Sunday's Mashemeji Derby. Then the Daily Nation showdown. President William Ruto finally fired Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi after months of defiance and direct confrontation in a move that now puts him in a fresh political dilemma with a hostile Mount Kenya region, picking a sitting MP as his replacement also gives his former deputy Rigathi Gachagua an opportunity for a muscle flexing face-off in a by-election. So this is going to be pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Students' pain as court reinstates contentious varsity funding model. And then why a Kenyan on... the second page of The Nation gives you a story of how the Kenyan officer who went missing in Haiti mission went missing. What happened, basically. And then on the third page, you have Kenyan on death row in Saudi Arabia, expected to come back home. Ruto takes risk of dismissing Muturi as tour of the mountain approaches. And then Karua to Odinga formalized political marriage with Ruto. Then the back page of The Nation, you have panel concludes interviews for IEBC chairperson's position. US funding freeze to derail Kenya's disease tracking. If you want to read some of those stories, check them out in your dailies. Then Ruto's blue-eyed boy, Aden Duale. President William Ruto, for the upteenth time, shuffled his cabinet yesterday. Whereas Justin Muturi was the biggest casualty, the president tapped Aden Duale, a man not known for exemplary delivery in the dockets he has previously held for the cartel-ridden health docket, an appointment that raises more questions than answers. Well, the standard these days, no chills at all. It just fires, wah, wah, wah. Kind of gives me the feeling of the Russia-Ukraine war. Shwa, shwa, missiles, shots fired. They say that Aden Duale is a man not known for exemplary delivery in the dockets he has previously held. They're saying the guy is not a performer. Hey, all right. Where? Ex-FKF official faces integrity queries as panel enters round 2. Yeah, Robert Asembo, former FKF deputy president, is one of the guys who's seeking to either become a commissioner or the chair of the IEBC. Would you like to see him there? No? I mean, any person who's handled the FKF, yapana. That's my personal opinion. This as court clears way for new varsity funding model. And then you have DP Kindiki visits Kanyaumbora irrigation project to break news of Roko's nomination. Now, I don't know, man, but I don't... Kindiki has been the deputy president for a while now. You literally hardly feel him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe we were taught badly by Gachagua in the sense that Gachagua was constantly in your face. I don't know whether this is the ideal way of a deputy president behaving. You see, for the last 2 terms, not 2 terms, during President Kenyatta's term and then Ruto's first term, which we are in right now. During Kenyatta's term, President Ruto was the deputy and he was everywhere. I mean, he was definitely going places, speaking things that people heard. And then when he became president, his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, was the same thing. A creature that was everywhere, saying every kind of thing. And now we have Kithure Kindiki, who's hardly been heard. I mean, he's the kind of guy who probably needs to be in an office. I'm not saying he's not performing. I'm just saying maybe we were taught bad manners by President William Ruto when he was deputy, and then Rigathi Gachagua. Maybe this is how a deputy president is supposed to be. Anyway, let's see. Muturi's AG tenure, blunders ignored and advice. Blunders, ignored advice, and bitter exit. Uproar of a company to collect city garbage. Nairobi leaders say the move to start a company should have been consultative. Others accuse governor of using new entity to make a kill. Waititu to spend 1 more month in jail as he awaits battle for bail. Patients on their own as US takes custody of critical healthcare data. What do you mean? The health sector is facing a major crisis as it emerged that the government may not have accurate data for the management of critical diseases. A government report reveals that data on tuberculosis, HIV immunization, and blood may not be available. Reason? Then you got the back page. Why Bafana are in trouble. South Africa midfielder Teboho Mokoena controls the ball during the... why are they in trouble? Argentina chapad Brazil. (4-1). Kwani hii ni volleyball? This is football, right? Yeah. Brazil were hammered 4. Kimeumana. All right. Remember, at 9 a.m., we're going to have Your Faith Today with Reverend Felix Kavoy. Great worship we are going to have also. And we also have Apostle Amos in the studio today. Great stuff. If you can remember what went down last week, it was amazing. And we'll be having more of that today. And then later on at 2 p.m., Manu Kato. All right? Okay, do have yourself a lovely morning.